Hello, everyone. I am Eric. With me today is Chip Shepard, and you are watching Oakland Tobacconist. So today is a special review. Not only is this a special day, especially for you, Chip, but we picked a cigar that is made by one of your favorite tobacco.
It is.
figures.
Nick Melillo has been one of my favorite for quite a while. And when I first came up here to find Eric's shop about a year and a half, close to 2 years or so, that was one of the first cigars I smoke up here. And to do a review on one of them now with my trusty Foundation cutter, I'm pretty excited about it.
Today we are going to be reviewing the Tabernacle Havana Seed 142. Now this cigar actually hasn't been in our humidor, I want to say, in almost a year.
Yeah, I probably bought them all.
Yeah, probably. And so we're reviewing it in the Toro size. The Toro is a 6x50. It almost looks bigger than a 6x50 to me. You have smoked this before.
I have, and either resting in my humidor at home, because I only smoke these on really special occasions.
Okay.
You know, I'll smoke his, regular ones, but these nice big Toros and the Havana Seed,
Awesome.
I like to hold on to.
Okay. And it is a special occasion. In fact, it is your birthday.
It is my birthday.
Happy birthday from OGT.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Not a big one yet. A big one will be next year, so hopefully we'll have a good time next year.
Because it's 45 now, right?
Yes. It's 29 again.
Okay.
No, I'm 59 today, and I feel like it. So in a year, it'll be 60, so that'll be a big one. So
there you go. Very quickly, on the visual of this cigar, it's a very oily wrapper. I'm also seeing a lot of toothiness as well, and rather veiny.
But he does a great job at bringing all that together so it's not a negative. Sometimes people will say, oh, well, this is bad or this is bad. But when you look at Nick's blends and his wraps, it's like, oh, man, that looks really natural is what I want to go for.
And almost inviting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is what I think it's supposed to look like.
Yes, no, and more texture on a cigar for me is always more inviting. So We're going to go ahead and get this cut, do a dry draw, and see what our first impressions are. Do you normally prefer straight cut, V-cut, punch?
I'm normally on normal Vitolas Parejos.
Mm-hmm.
I do a straight cut.
Okay.
And I prefer using the perfect cutter to make sure I just don't go off the shoulders.
Yeah.
When I do a torpedo, which, torpedoes and diadamas and those perfectos are my favorite ones, I usually cut those with a V cutter.
Okay.
And it's still then kind of at an angle, but I think I like the V cutter better on those.
Yeah.
I just have found that, so...
Yeah, depending on the Vitola.
Absolutely. The Flying Pig Vitola and all that, I like to do.
Yeah. So I guess we'll go ahead and do a cold draw. I get definitely an earthy side, but there's almost like a maybe saltiness.
I can't tell you like other reviewers, oh, that's a white salt, a black salt, or a white pepper, black pepper.
3 pinches of coriander.
Yeah. No,
I say we go ahead and light it up.
Earth. I get earth.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We're going to go ahead and give this a toast. It's something I appreciate also about Nick Melillo's blending style is immediately when you try it, there's flavor. There's not like, okay, we need some warm-up time. We need some time, especially in this Vitola.
It's a strong Vitola.
It is.
And it's just like you said, you don't have to think, okay, I'm stoking it, but there's already flavor. Like when you first start and bring it into your mouth, I almost said,
Definitely not inhale.
I do that sometimes. Yeah, but it's such a fresh, clean taste to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those brands. I feel like I'm not a cigar aficionado, but I feel like when you give me one of Nick's brands, I could probably know it was about the band.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's pretty consistent.
His signature.
Blending,
yeah.
And that's not a bad thing at all.
No. I appreciate that.
Yeah, when you paint like Picasso, it's okay to look like Picasso.
Exactly. Interesting thing to me about this cigar is that I feel like there's a good amount of spice to it, but on the retrohale, even when there's spice, most of the sweetness from this blend comes on that retrohale for me.
Yeah, I don't get that burn.
No.
Where it's like, okay.
There's just like an interesting tingle, and then you get sweetness through that retro. there's kind of like this almost like a velvety cakeness to it with a little, like a hint of like cayenne. I don't know if you've ever had like brownies with a little bit of cayenne on it. That's like that twinge of spice, but not overbearing.
On the retrohale. I feel like I got that just now on the retrohale.
Yeah.
You know, the kind of the subtle spice. It wasn't biting. Mm-mm. It was just kind of, okay, here in the background.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree.
I know that you had said that he's one of your favorites. If you had to name like some of the blenders, other than Melillo, that really stick out to you and your palate that you enjoy, what are some of those blenders?
Well, thankfully you finally brought him in, but Rainier Lorenzo, I've been a big fan of HVC for a while and kept pestering you, and now you've brought HVC in. And I got to tell you, even though he, sometimes he comes off brashly, Steve Saka.
Yeah.
He blends a cigar.
It is hard to find a bad Saka cigar.
And it's hard not to find a good Saka cigar.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not like, well, that's all right. You know?
Yeah.
Even with Nick, I'm not as excited about his High Clear Castles. Can still smoke them, and they're great with coffee.
But it's not directly in your palate.
Right. And I would still love them. But Saka's pretty good all the way across the board.
Okay.
You know?
To put you more on the spot, let's take Melillo, Saka, and Rainier. What would you say is, for your palate, your favorite blend that they create?
Of all...
Like individually, like favorite foundation, favorite Saka, so on and so forth.
I would say Saka is it's close, but I'd say Todos los Dias.
Okay.
I really like that.
And that's a broadleaf?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I gave that, I believe I gave one to you. I really like that cigar. Sin Compromiso.
That's what I was going to say. For me,
it's hard to beat.
That's where I land. Sin Compromiso.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
With HVC, we had to talk about this the other day. Love all of them, but I think the Connecticut Broadleaf is still my favorite.
It is phenomenal, and I'm right there with you, except until I tried the 10-year, I was like, damn, this is a good cigar.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I'm the other way around. I tried the 10-year, like, dang, this is a great cigar.
Yeah.
But I went home and smoked another Broadleaf. I'm like, oh no, this is it. I'm still on board.
And so the Havana Seed, honestly, has not been one of the top ranking for me in the past.
Huh.
And my first experience with it was the Corona Doble 7x54. I bought a box of them, and I like it, but the concentration of flavor that I get from this Toro is so much more to where I prefer a cigar that smoking smaller Vitolas has changed my mind with the Havana, for sure. So I love the Goliath that came out of the Tabernacle interpretation. I love the 1C5. That Wise Man Maduro, though, is just like a direct line. Like, I love that cigar. But he's also releasing the Havana Seed in David and Goliath, which is going
to blow your mind, right?
Well, and something, I mean, with this Havana Seed is that I haven't touched it up once. For me, that's pretty rare. Also, the ash is like very, very white. But I'm still getting that like dark cocoa or rich like velvet cake type flavor. I'm getting a little bit of pepper. And maybe like a little bit of that like sharp cederness, like cedar.
I was gonna say wood. I can't really always tell you the kind of wood,
but there is a wood note.
Yes, but in the chocolate, always comes out. And if I can bounce some knowledge on you, I did tell you this, and I've heard this, that the whiter the ash, they did a study on why is some ash white and what's the difference. And what they say is that the scientists say is the whiter the ash, the older the tobacco, the longer it's been fermented.
Okay.
Because it takes the chlorophyll out the longer it's out of the sun. Okay. So it starts to turn it white. And
really interesting.
Yeah. And I think that's been an argument among cigar aficionados forever, but I just saw this YouTube channel and explained it. And I'm like, well, that does make sense. I think it was Brian at Liga Privada.
Yeah.
And these things always burn so well. I'm a pretty quick smoker, but you're going faster than I am, and that's kind of odd.
I keep pushing back to it. I'm like, man, it's been a year since I've had this. So if you're interested in the Havana Seed from Foundation or any other Foundation cigar, you can check us out on oaklandtobacconist.com. So thank you again for joining us, and thank you, Chip, for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
And we'll catch you in the next video. Thank you again for watching Oakland Tobacconist.